right here, going here, here, here. That's Newport. Providence, we'll try and find the New Haven Brothers Diner.
Okay.
And go up. That's Quincy for the Adamses.
Okay.
Boston, continuously head north. 3 things up along New Hampshire. And then that puts us all up into Maine, culminating in Acadia and Bar Harbor.
Ladies and Gentiles, monkeys and reptiles, I stand before you to sit beside you, to tell you a story I know nothing about. But today, we are making our way up the East Coast. Yes, you are traveling with Trey again. I've got my partner in crime with me, Chris, and we're going to be making a lot of random stops on our way. Starting the adventure in Litchfield, Connecticut, where we are right now, at the grave of Oliver Wolcott, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. I did not care to walk up the hill. Chris is doing that now, but hey, stick with us. We got a ton of cool stuff that we're going to see on this trip. And if you're an East Coaster like me, you can easily incorporate some of these sites into your own day trip, put them on your own itinerary. I promise I won't let you down on this one. So keep watching the video, and hey, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like it, and give me your thoughts. What did we miss? Other than that, stay tuned. So this is very pretty. It's an outside grotto here with benches for service. Well, this is very interesting. I'm glad we came upon this accidentally. I need some of this.
I did a donation as well, so they asked for a $2 donation.
I guess it's so strong. I don't know if they went from the outside in, like from inside out, like did they start?
So this is always a nice way to start any trip. It's very peaceful, not what you would think in terms of the traditional Roman Catholic experience, because you think of buildings and you don't think about outdoor experiences, but there's a whole nature walk in front of me where a person can go meditate on the Stations of the Cross, which I thought was pretty great. And there's a few people here. It's a nice day, it's not too hot. I guess once the water flows more freely through this canal here, maybe these fill up in time with rainwater. Some kind of baptismal pool or baptismal font, most likely a pool because it looks like they require full immersion and they're large enough. But it's right off the bridge here, going into the grotto. We always find interesting roadside stops, and this is certainly another one to add to your list if you're in Connecticut, in this part of the country. If you're Catholic, even if you're not Catholic, it's quite a spiritual experience. Lebanon, Connecticut at Trumble Cemetery. Looking for some other dead person. This is an old cemetery containing the tomb of Brother Jonathan Trumble, Revolutionary War Governor of Connecticut, the friend and advisor of George Washington. William Williams, signer of Declaration of Independence, also graves of other early settlers and patriots. It's a very cool looking cemetery. This is an old cemetery. Wow, even the ground feels mushy. Got some flies around you?
Dude, it's like nothing but flies. You know, I have our flag in the car. It's like that.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
When we were in New York running around dressed like Revolutionary War heroes?
Yep. So there's 56 signers. There's 4 out of Connecticut. We've already been to 2. We're going to the 3rd, and I've seen the 4th, who's Roger Sherman. So the next one's like 10 minutes away, and then we'll try to go to the Griswold, and then we'll go to the White Horse.
So William Williams, the signer of the Declaration of Independence. And he was what now? What was his role, other than signer?
Well, I think he was a judge. I think he was a esquire. He was a lawyer.
William Williams, what a name. Very creative. Mr. David Trumbull. Some of the most beautiful old graveyards are up here in the Northeast. And they're so old. They've got these blooms on them. And you can't even make out the names anymore. It's like completely illegible. Just goes to show one day we'll all be forgotten and dead. And not even stones will carry a remembrance of us. What an absolutely positive thought. Here's Simeon Gray from Captain Clark's company. Died in 1777, a year after the birth of our country. Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. So, no, but what's
See the wings?
Yeah,
it's like flying up to heaven.
yeah. So what's interesting about these is that you see these all over northeastern cemeteries. We saw some of these in Sleepy Hollow, but the artistry of these are so original, and usually the epigraphs are also nice too. It's great because the English itself, the spelling, the vernacular is all different than it appears today, which is really neat. And it's a testament to the way that language changes over time. You know, this wasn't too long ago. This is 200-300 years, and it makes you wonder what language will sound like and even look like in the next 200 to 300 years. If we came as time travelers and we went to the future, would we be able to understand the language or not? And we are yet at another cemetery, Old Norwich Town Burying Ground. These states are filled with these old cemeteries of old dead war heroes and veterans and people of note who founded and started the country. And it's a great way to relive history, especially to be thankful for the country that's been handed to you. This artwork, it's really interesting. There's Chris out there looking, examining, studying. Who are we looking for again? I already forgot.
Huntington.
Samuel Huntington. Is this him?
It's the Huntington family.
Do you know what the gravestone looks like?
Yeah, hold on. It's we're in.
The custom of electing black governors, which lasted for about a century, occurred in many other Connecticut towns, including Derby, Durham, Farmington, Hartford, New Haven, New London, and Seymour. In 1869, Connecticut became the 15th state to ratify the 15th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which stated that no citizen could be denied the right to vote based on race, color, or previous condition of servitude. There was a long-forgotten practice of electing black governors to represent the local slave populations. The particular grave we're looking at here is Boston Trow, who was considered the black governor of Norwich. So whether slaves really had voices, really had a means for protestation, is not really a matter of controversy. They most certainly didn't at this time, but black governors nevertheless were elected for the purpose of being a voice for their people, representing their people. And it was something of an ingenious idea. It wasn't done out of the goodness of white people's hearts necessarily, that everyone should have representation. Rather, it was the idea that the black population wouldn't revolt, there wouldn't be an uprising if they saw a dominant black figure in a leadership position able to take their concerns back to their white masters, technically. Yeah, that's the way it worked, unfortunately. So was there any real power with these black governors? Probably not. They were most likely just figureheads. I mean, they certainly did represent the concerns of the slaves, and there probably were real issues. And maybe at times they were even able to get some sort of restitution, some sort of compromise for the slaves that they were representing. But often it wasn't the case. There wasn't going to be too much of a negotiation where the white landowners were concerned, and of course the powers that be. Some of the stones just eventually get displaced or crumbled to the ground and are just propped up here on other stones. This isn't the final resting place, it says?
That's his tomb. That's just the look. That has a web address at the bottom and a plaque sponsored by Bill and Peg Stanley. That's where he's buried.
Okay.
That's the tomb as it goes back into there.
Samuel Huntington Esquire. So at this very spot, Benedict Arnold watched his mother lowered into the grave that Chris is leaning in front of. Her name was Hannah.
Yeah. This is the grave of Mercy Lena Brown. She died at 19 years old. The Brown family died under kind of mysterious circumstances. First, the mother died, and then another sister died of the same symptoms, and then Mercy died, the third one, of the same symptoms. When the youngest child, a young boy, a son, started to develop the same symptoms, they thought that Mercy Brown and the rest of the family were vampires, and they actually dug her body up, took part of her bones or some part of the decomposed body, they ground it up, and they made it, put some liquid into it, and made it into like a drink, and they made the boy drink it, thinking that that would alleviate his symptoms. But he too died of the same symptoms shortly thereafter. As we know now, in the 2020s, 2024, they actually died of consumption, which today we know as tuberculosis. But she is listed in Rhode Island historical annals as the last known vampire, the last official vampire of New England, all of New England.
And what do we know about that area over there?
Well, she died in the winter months, so it was obviously very cold. There was a lot of snow on the ground, and the ground was frozen, so they couldn't dig a hole. They actually held the body in that crypt until the ground thawed out enough where they could dig a hole and bury the body. The incident was part of the wider New England vampire panic. So a lot of that stuff was going on. Obviously, as we make our way north into Salem, that's where they had the witch trials. So a lot of that fear-mongering was going on.
Yeah.
And anytime something was weird, they blamed it on somebody. And
Right.
so we know it today as consumption, but this is where they put the body.
Can you go in there?
No, it's all bricked up.
Oh, so the door really doesn't open to
The door
any.
was there originally, but
Oh,
it's bricked up behind there.
okay. So they kept her what? They kept her body in here for what now?
So the ground thawed out.
Oh, okay.
And it's just I guess it's just a crypt.
Huh.
But they kept her in there, and she was just a normal girl.
Yeah.
But 1892, they were so dumb.
To me, it looks like a contraption to hold the stone so
Look,
that no one steals
Look at
it.
that extra.
Yeah, cement.
Maybe they broke it off in the past.
Somebody tried to steal it, maybe?
Yeah.
Just for the occult lore of the vampire from Rhode Island, huh? This is probably the best angle to take it at right here. William Ellerly, right? Ellerly.
Harvard graduate.
Signer of the Declaration of Independence. Okay. How many does that make? How many people have you seen now?
He's 28.
How many were there?
56.
28 of 56 signers. So that's his goal in life, guys. We're going to put it on his gravestone.
There's one guy from South Carolina who died at sea, so I can't go to his.
Does he have a cenotaph or anything?
Cenotaph somewhere.
Yeah. So he can at least go to the cenotaph. Our next stop is going to be my favorite. It's the White Horse Tavern. It is the oldest tavern bar in the United States, right here in Newport. So we're going there for beers and food and fun. Thanks for traveling with Trey. Join us next time when we visit the oldest restaurant in the United States, the oldest Dunkin' Donuts in the country, and continue our road trip up the Northeast coast, looking for points of interest and off-the-beaten-path oddities. Remember to like this video, leave behind a comment on your own experiences, and subscribe to be the first to know when the next video drops. I appreciate your support, and thanks for watching.